It has been almost 10 days since Justin Trudeau stood on the floor of the parliament in Canada and alleged that there is credible allegations that he has against role of Indian agencies in killing of Khalistani terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar in Canada. Since then, there has been a slew of measures between the two sides, which has been kind of detrimental for the diplomatic relationship between the two sides. We have seen India also issuing advisory for the students and people from Indian origin living in Canada and Indian communities living in Canada. India has also raised the issue of safety and security of Indian diplomats there. Then there have been, call from the Indian side to the Canadian side that there should be parity among the Canadian diplomats present in India, and there should be parity of rank and strength, that the number of Canadian diplomats present in India should be as at par with the number of diplomats of India in Canada, and that means a lot of Canadian diplomats will have to be sent back home. There has been an expulsion of senior diplomats from both the sides. Then there are travel advisory also that Canada has also issued. So many things have been there in the last 1 week or 10 days that is kind of not going well with the India-Canada bilateral relationship. But the latest is that the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has now said that despite the differences that they are having with India right now, there is no doubt that he wants to have a more strong relationship with India, and that has to do with a lot of other macro global policy framework in which Canada sees India as a more stronger partner. Highlighting India's global growing influence, Trudeau has emphasized that extreme importance of Canada and its allies maintaining active engagement with India. The news has been published in National Post in Canada. And the Canadian PM, while speaking at a press conference in Montreal on Thursday, he also said that he thinks it is extremely important that Canada and its allies continue to engage constructively and seriously with India, given its growing importance on world stage. He has also said that India is a growing economic power and important geopolitical player, and as we presented with our Indo-Pacific strategy just last year, we are very serious about building closer ties with India. And the entire Indo-Pacific strategy of the West and USA, India happens to be a very crucial and important partner. And if they are not happy with India, or if Canadian ties with India is not as good, clearly entire Indo-Pacific framework or the policy of Canada will be jeopardized if India is not a very strongly involved partner in Canada's Indo-Pacific strategy. Trudeau also mentioned that he has received guarantees from the US that would address the publicly made allegations regarding India's involvement in the murder of Hardeep Singh Nijjar during a meeting with the Indian Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar in Washington DC. So far there has not been any official word whether the issue of Nijjar's killing was raised between the two sides, but there are certain media houses in USA who have reported that the issue of that killing did come up for the discussion. We will have to wait for the official wording on that, what kind of discussion and what transpired during the discussion. But we know that Justin Trudeau government, despite the differences, he acknowledges the fact that how important it is for Canada to maintain a very healthy and strong relationship. About 4% of Canadian population is of Indian origin. Almost half of them are Sikhs, and other half is mostly Hindu community. There is about more than 2 lakh students per year, which they go to Canada for higher studies. Some calculations says that about 68,000 crore rupees. This is the amount that Canadian government is earning every year from the money and other tuition fees that they get through the students from various countries. And India happens to be one of the largest source destination for students who go for higher studies in other countries. Then there are various issues like climate change, energy transition, nuclear, cooperation, aviation sector, cyber security, where India and Canada they have been cooperating. Defense is another area where both the sides wanted to have more strong relationship. And despite all the fact, we have seen also India emerging as a resilient supply chain, a very crucial point in the resilient supply chain that the world is talking about. So a lot of manufacturing capacity is now coming back to India. Also, we have seen in the 55 years of bilateral relationship, about $2.39 billion Canada's bilateral development assistance program has been for a very long time going on in India, but now that is stopped. But in financial year 21-22, Canada invested nearly $76 million to support 52 international assistance project in India. So this is the kind of trusted partnership that was going on between the two sides. We believe about $50 billion or more. That is the amount of money that the pension funds of Canada are invested in India. A lot of Indian companies are also invested in Canada, and with the kind of differences or the disagreement that the two governments are having on the diplomatic issues, that tie is surely going to be impacted, and probably this is where Justin Trudeau government is trying to protect or kind of shield the bilateral ties and other aspect of bilateral ties from the diplomatic fallout that has happened in the wake of his allegation against Indian government of Indian agencies' role in killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Also, India's concern about the threat and intimidation coming from this Khalistani extremist quarter to Indian diplomats, Indian community is something that Canada has not paid satisfactory attention to in the past, and probably that is one of the reasons why those emboldened violent elements are now in a position where they have become so influential in the government that Canadian government has, though they have leveled some serious charges against India, but they have not been able to come out in support of those allegations with any substantial evidence or any intelligence input that they could share with India. This is what the situation has been so far. The latest statements by the Trudeau government sounds like calming down the flaring up relationship between the two sides, but how far will he go ahead and how much of bridging he will do in order to ensure that the kind of damage that he did by alleging those grave charges against Indian agencies will not impact India-Canada bilateral relationship further. We'll have to see for that what kind of evidences he will come out. We'll also have to see that, and how soon he's going to make mend the ways with the Indian diplomats or Indian government in order to continue to have a robust and strong bilateral relationship. We'll have to wait for that.